I wanted to just say a few words on shelters. Now, there is no question in my mind that more work needs to be done on the selection of shelters. And indeed, we may very well have to consider building shelters that are for that purpose. Or when we are building community facilities, to build them up to the standards that a shelter would require. Because in this disaster, many of the shelters that were prescribed as shelters were destroyed. And so some of the areas that you're seeing functioning as shelters were never prescribed as shelters. We just had to use them in the immediate passage of the hurricane. So this is something that we will have to consider. We are now at a point in the disaster where we will have to decommission shelters, demobilize the shelters. That creates some challenges, but why do we have to do this? Many, if not all of the shelters now are schools. And we have to get our schools back up for January. So we can't have the shelters, the schools being used as shelters. So what we have done, we have deployed the social workers and assessors from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and from the Ministry of Local Government to go into these shelters. You would have heard that we have maybe just under 1,200 or 1,300 persons still in shelters, to go into these shelters and on a case-by-case basis assess their needs and make recommendations, or where possible implement solutions for the decanting of persons from these shelters. And that is underway. Our hopeful target is that we could decommission 90% of the occupants of the shelters, from the shelters, into alternatives. We are hopeful that we can do this. We're working very hard, but I can't stand here and give a definitive date that it would happen, but the public should know that we have started a process to humanely, with greatest consideration, decommission the shelters and find alternatives for the persons who are using them. I'm certain that this will lead to questions about what are we going to do for schools and when they will reopen. I was the Minister of Education many years ago, so I leave those questions to your capable Minister of Education. She did come to us with a tidy sum for the reconstruction of schools. But more will be said on that in another press briefing.